Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of The Mirroring of Mary King, which is a game of ghostly possession. This is for 2 players. It's an asymmetrical tug-of-war, area control, hand management game. Ages 14 and up, takes about 30 minutes. Hopefully you've checked out our how to play and playthrough. I will go over some of how the game plays here. So the story is, you have a present-day woman named Mary visits Scotland, and her ghost ancestor tries to take over her body.
Yep.
And so it's the battle of minds here. And I'm showing you what it looks like before setup. Now with setup, you start out with half of her mind is controlled by Mary's ancestor ghost. The game will end immediately if either side controls all 12 of these tiles. So if the living Mary, which is who I'm playing, or the ghost Mary controls all 12 tiles, the game ends. The game can also end if your mind deck is depleted. Now how would it be depleted? After every player's turn, both players can discard cards. So if you discard cards from your mind deck into your memory deck, that's your discard pile, and there's no cards to discard, you lose. Or when you're drawing cards from your mind into your hand and there's no cards to draw, you lose. If after 5 days, you play through Monday through Friday, if after 5 days of turns, the ghost goes 5 times, the living Mary goes 5 times over those 5 days. If nobody has control of the psyche, you take a look at the end of the game. You count how many cards are in your mind that are left, plus an area control bonus. So if Julie, for instance, were to control this, 1, 2, 3, 4, she gets +2 on her score. I only control 1. You only count your largest area. My largest area is 1. I get no bonus. And if Julie had more cards than me, she would win at the end of the 5th day. So you'll see that there are different cards here. These are power cards. There'll be 6 power cards shuffled into your mind deck. And these are control cards. These cards can be played this way or this way to flip over to the battle over Mary's psyche. For power cards, there'll be 12 possible you can play during the game. So 6 will be in your mind deck. 6 will be here in what's called your sideboard, plus 6 control cards. These will be random. And so this is like some collectible card games. There'll be 3 stacks of 4 here, and I should have them all face the same way. And the ghost will have the same number. I think I have too many in one. Okay. So Julie would do the same thing. We have 6 power cards in here, and you can play as many power cards as you want on a turn. But you're limited to how many control cards. On Monday, you can play up to 5 control cards, but only get 1 idea here. You'll see these are ideas. As the game plays, I could play up to 3 control cards on Wednesday and buy up to 3 ideas. You could also buy your opponent's ideas if you play them right away. So here's my mind. Say I have 5 cards. You start with 5 and you always draw up to 5. So the more cards you play, the less cards you will have in your mind if you go to the end game. So I have 2 powers already in these control cards. Then, by the way, the ghost player would go first. I flip over the ideas, so I can buy these. On Monday, I can only buy 1 of these cards, or 1 of Julie's that she'll have up. And I can play up to 5 control cards and play as many power cards. And as we're doing this, we're trying to take control of the psyche. At the end of my turn, the number that Julie controls and the number I control, we can both be discarding cards. It's possible that I can control 4 and she discards 1. It's possible that Julie can control 6 and I discard 2. And so we keep on doing that back and forth. There are some hand management icons here. where it does matter. You have a reaction card here. It's like an instant in Magic. You can play it any time. Each power card has two choices. So for instance, I can play that as a reaction, an instant at the first one. This one here, I can play only on my turn. Then you see an icon here, because sometimes if you want to discard a card from your mind into your memory, you can put that card, shuffle it back into your mind, and hope to get it back later. So that's the hand management part. This icon says you can put it at the bottom of your memory. That's your discard pile. Now, why is that a good thing? Because some cards allow you to draw from the bottom of your memory. So there's a lot of possibilities here to get your power cards back. For instance, there is a power card here that the Living Mary has that allows you to lock tiles. You can lock in a diagonal line, for instance. That means they can't be flipped over anymore. You play that card once, but if you're able to recycle it back, you can play it again and lock more. Now, there is some optional rules you can play where there's a ghost ability and a mortal ability, and you can use it 2 times. So I can use it 2 times, and that means the ghost would be able to use her ability 4 times. As soon as she uses one of her tokens, it flips to my side, and I can use my ability again. But we could, at least at the beginning of the game, use your abilities twice. This allows me to get more cards. This allows Julie to, when you play a card you own, you may put that card on top of one of your current ideas after resolve, so you can cycle things back. So this is more advanced play here. So you play over 5 days, trying to get area control, making each other discard cards. There are powers that can allow you to get cards back. If nobody controls these 12 tiles at the end, all 12, then you count how many cards you have left in your mind, and that person wins. So take a look at how to play and play through. I go over that in more detail, and you can watch us go through the steps.
So now it's time for you all to hear our positives, our negatives, and our neutrals, and then we'll tell you how we rated it on the BGG scale.
Okay, here we go.
All right, I go first. And I thought this was a really cool tug-of-war type of game for 2 players. When we saw it at Gen Con, I thought it was really cool. So I was really happy we were able to get it.
We bought it at Gen Con.
We bought it, yeah.
He flown in certain copies.
Certain amount, and we were able to get one.
Yeah.
It was great. I think the art on the tiles is really nice. I mean, the picture is just this woman without being a ghost. She's beautiful. She's so pretty. Her eyes are just, yeah, she's really pretty.
I'll flip it over all the way while you're reading.
Okay. The playing time isn't too long either. Granted, the video we did with the how to play and playthrough is longer, but because David's explaining it. But if you're just playing it, it can go by probably between 20 and 30 minutes.
That's what it is as advertised, and you get quicker at it the more you play it.
This is true. I did find the cards to be rather challenging to figure out at first, and we've played this 5 times, and it still can be a little challenging for me. I still have to really, really concentrate hard on what it's telling you, on what you remove, or what you must do, or what your opponent must do, and
and also too, getting used to memory versus mind, versus bottom of the memory, top of the memory. So it is thinky to play it correctly.
Thinky. It's very thinky, which will give you my last thing here. And this is just for me only. It makes my brain hurt really bad afterwards, which is good because it means my brain has been working really hard, and it's just like, woohoo, we've done something fun today. But it also means that I'm exhausted, and the thought of playing another game like this tonight or afterwards would never happen.
Right. You can play a game like this once, and then you do lighter games after
Very
this.
light, yes.
But you've won 3 out of the 5 times you've played.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize that till David had mentioned that before. So go me. Woo!
So here's my reasons here. So it's a creative, asymmetrical tug-of-war 2-player game. That's cool. Mm-hmm. And when I saw this, we were going by the booth at Gen Con, I said, hey, check this out. Because the art attracted me. And then when he was explaining, I said, yeah, we got to get this. This is a solid game. Just based on his explanation, and we were pleased that when we actually played it, it was.
Yep.
So it's thematic and accessible spatial reasoning. Now, that's important. The reason why Julie can be competitive with this is because she's only having to manipulate 12 tiles. if it was a bigger grid or like pentominoes, Julie does terrible at patchwork. She's not competitive in patchwork at all.
No.
And she has a hard time being competitive in blockus.
Yep.
So only having to worry about 12 tiles is
manageable.
manageable.
For me. Yep.
And that's why she can be competitive. If it was more than that, then she probably wouldn't want to play this game.
Nope.
So it's inviting art and decent pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Decent meaning that it's not the highest quality. This is just typical cardstock. It's average. Okay, it holds up to shuffling. But I can tell that it was, if you see the little raised edge, it's hard to see, that this was die cut.
Oh.
These are die cut cards. And I can tell by the raised edge on the corners here. Okay, it is what it is. It's average quality. But the playmat is nice.
Yeah.
Nice playmat. These gems are nice. I mean, these glass beads, I should say.
Whatever they are.
And these hard cardboard. Okay, I'm sure there's, to keep the price point down, you couldn't do linen cards. That's foil stamp cards. I would be saying high quality pieces throughout if it had better cards, but the cards were average. So 10's hand management, area control, decisions. So you'll see this when we're doing the playthrough. I'm going over the powers with Julie so she understands what they do. She does make her own decisions. And there's a couple times I said, maybe you should do this. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's actually not worth doing. Or Julie told me it's not worth doing because I misunderstood the powers. You really got to read them carefully at times. So this game does benefit with more plays. And it's tense because one of us wins only by 2 points. So every time you do something, it means something. It matters.
Yep.
So it's impressive design that will favor experienced players because there is such a learning curve. Now the designer, when I talk to him, because I hand out my performance list when I go to these shows, because it's free. My performance list to evaluate rulebooks is free, and I hand it to him and says, oh, you should read my dissertation. He is a data scientist, a decision scientist. So he has a PhD, and it shows. I can tell that Jim Felly probably played a lot of Magic or other collectible card games because some of the terminology in the rule book reminds me of what you would do in Magic, for instance. So if you like Magic the Gathering, but you don't want to play a collectible card game, or you don't want to deal with designing a deck, or you have somebody in your life that doesn't like playing Magic, but you like playing Magic, and you think, but they don't, but you want that Magic-like experience to play with somebody who's not into Magic, this might be the game for you.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. I know I was a roundabout way to say that. So it is possible swinging wins. The first time we played, the ghost player goes first.
That's me. Oh, it's always me. Thank goodness.
Julie won. It is possible to win in the first turn. Because you can play up to 5 control cards. On your sideboard here, on your ideas, there will be control cards here. If you have just the right control cards in your hand at the beginning of the game, and can buy at least one more for the ideas, or use a power card like allows you to flip 2 over, you can win the first turn.
Yep.
So that is a negative. It happened. And I couldn't find anything in the rules, and I still don't see it, to prevent that. So let's see how we rated it.
Okay. Oh, we both said good.
Yes, so good. We're usually willing to play.
Yep.
Maybe over time it will go up. Just depends on how often it hits the table.
Right.
But if we're in a mood for a 2-player thinky game, this would be it.
And that means I have had to have had a nap or be very well rested or have had some caffeine in me for me to be able to be like, okay, I'm ready for this. That if he were to catch me later in the evening, there's no way.
This is not the game we would do.
Nope.
If we don't have enough energy. Now, we're getting to the point now we played it enough where I don't have to help Julie as much. I was only helping on the how to play and playthrough because I have to show the cards what they are so that the audience knows.
Oh, no, and I get that. Yeah. And there are times where I'm just not, if it's getting later towards playing, we've been playing a while, and I can feel my brain starting to slow down, I will be struggling to figure out how the control card, I can see it, but I have to like physically put it up front here for me to figure it out. So I'll help her flip it
so she can tell.
Because sometimes I won't see it, and David will, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But I am pretty proud of myself that I can do this majority by myself.
Right, because we played twice in a row. You won the first game, and I won the second game, but you were alert enough to play it twice in a row.
But afterwards, I was like, "You need to go to bed."
You had no problem falling asleep.
No, I didn't.
All right, so it may go up more over time, but right now we're happy to own it.
Yes, very happy to own it.
If it was a little lighter, we'd probably play it more often. But that's not a bad thing. That it's not too heavy. They're like, I don't want to deal with that. Like for instance, American Psycho. That's
too much.
It's too much to deal with in that game for a trick-taking game.
Yeah.
We'd play this over American Psycho.
Oh yeah, easy.
And just because there's more of a theme here. That's another thing too.
That's true too.
American Psycho is a pace-it-on theme. The theme is present throughout this game.
Oh, definitely.
Battling over the psyche, sorry.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't want to lose your mind.
No,
your
exactly.
draw pile.
Exactly.
That's why I'm impressed with Jim's design here. Good job.
Yeah, you did a great job, Jim. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, you guys. We hope to see you in the next video.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.